That's great racing there. But there's more to it than just racing, even though that might be the fun part, depending on who you are. These are riders that don't necessarily have a background at all in motorcycling. You teach them how to build motorcycles and give them their own look, then ride them and then race them. That doesn't even seem possible, but yet you've pulled it off a couple of years now.
Yeah, this is our third season of Build, Train, Race, the second for road racing, and just watching the progression of the program itself over the last 3 years has been pretty amazing, from the people that are supporting it to the people that want to be a part of it. You know, the crew that we bring in, the support from series such as MotoAmerica. I never thought in a lifetime that there'd be a 15 women rider grid in MotoAmerica, and somehow it's happening. And just every time I see these bikes, you know, motorcycles roll out on track, it's just like, did this really happen?
The most startling aspect of all is the amount of entries you have, which we'll talk about in a little bit to whittle it down to 15. But first, I want to show you the point standings. Yeah, this is a real championship on the line here, and look how close it is. Kaylee Bike has been very fast this year, but she got penalized at a race, and Jennifer Chancellor on top.
Yeah, I mean, Jennifer's a really strong rider. She comes from the Pacific Northwest. She definitely, I think, does have a lot of track time. Maybe not in a racing sequence, but track days. And she's probably one of the hungriest racers that we have out there on the track. And she sits there, studies the maps all the time. She watches races. She asks all the relevant questions. And she pretty much never leaves her motorcycle.
I just love how they all got bit by the racing bug. Now back to what I was talking about. You're down to 15 entries a year. Tell everybody how many people apply for this program.
About 487, but the thing is we didn't have 15 open spots. So from a road racing perspective, we did invite 5 ladies back. One lady decided not to. She was going to travel the world and split her time between Colombia and Germany. The other 4 accepted the invitation to come back. And then, so we only had 11 riders that, or spots that were open. And it still stresses me out. You know, every time you have to say no to someone, they want to know why. Maybe there's not a specific reason. Maybe the geography didn't link up or something, but I can't have a 487 rider grid. I mean,
no.
Maybe MotoAmerica would let me.
Yeah, that'd be a heck of a close race. There wouldn't be room for anyone to get away from each other. But that really shows. I would imagine that you didn't have numbers that large when this program first started. It must have been growing.
Absolutely not. And even the first year that we did it, so from a flat track perspective, we didn't do an open application because I wasn't sure how the program was going to flow. So we handpicked 4 people, and it was 4 people in flat track, and we did 2 races or 3 with American flat track. And then Melissa Paris said, you want to go road racing? I said, well, of course. You know, I think Royal Enfield would really be behind that. And then last year we had 7. I didn't feel like the grid was strong enough, you know, from a battle. You know, I wanted to add more motorcycles, so we went back to MotoAmerica and I said, hey, can we increase the grid to 15? They were all for it, and it's turned out great. We have so many different battles and so many different personalities this year. It's been amazing to watch.
Yes, and that's why you saw how close the points are. So this should be a really good race. Yes, this is the actual race part of the program. We had practice and qualifying throughout the weekend. Let's get an update from the racetrack. We'll send it back down to Greg.
Well, one of the stories that I think is really fascinating, we saw it actually play out twice in that qualifying session. We saw, first of all, it was the 95 of Cora Tennyson. She came into the pits after just a few laps, and they did some tweaking and the like. She went back out, put in a respectable lap, qualifying in the 7th spot. But remember, Crystal Martinez came in, she sat feeling a little bit overheated, and she said, I wanted to save my energy for the race. I know I've got more in it. I want to have something left at the end of the qualifying session. When she went back out in those last 3 laps, put it up on the front row outside of row 1 with a 3rd place qualifying run and getting the job done. She obviously, we heard Bree talk about the fact that she's a trauma nurse. She understands how to read her body. She did an absolutely incredible job of that.
Yeah, and it's only going to be a little bit hotter now, so maybe saving that energy earlier might pay off.
But something to notice is Crystal's not in the same pair of leathers that she was in for qualifying. So she got a new set of leathers in. They were really tight on her. They were restricting her.
Okay.
So she went, and Alpine Stars has supported her before, so she went and actually switched leathers.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's going to help her out too. Give her some more mobility.
Starting grid. These 3, Martinez, Peterson, and Bike, have put on some great battles throughout this year, and we're looking for another one here. That's your front row. Chancellor, your points leader on row 2. Grid position number 4, Martin and Dahl. That's your 2nd row. And we'll give you the full 15, because like we said, we have a much larger field here this year. Michaela Trumbull has shown some speed this year. Cora Tennyson, we just saw her a big crash earlier in the year. I'm just impressed how tough these riders are.
We call her the Tiger. She's probably one of our most aggressive racers. She got up from that crazy high side, gave the thumbs up.
Yeah.
You know, she did sit out for Road America. She wanted to nurse that sprained knee a little bit, and she's ready to get some redemption for that get up at a BIR.
So we ended up with only 12 riders racing today due to some of the injuries, but we do expect them to put on a good show for us. Bike, Peterson, Martinez need to get some points back. A couple riders were penalized for battling. They want to win so badly that even when the red flag came out, they wanted to race right down to the checkered flag. But I know you've rectified that.
We did, and right before I came up here to the booth, Crystal said, "Brian, I'll obey all the flags."
Okay.
I said, "I'm not worried about it. I think you guys have learned your lesson." It was a hard lesson to learn, and I think it was a little bit embarrassing for everyone involved, but sometimes you have to give the hard stance to make sure that they've learned.
They just want to win that badly, and they were going to race down to the checkered flag no matter what. There is Bike 16. She will be your pole sitter coming through on their last chance to look at this track. And I'll tell you what, all the riders tell me in all the classes how technical this track is and how important line choice is. So this is a great opportunity for them to learn a track that is not easy to tame.
It's not, but I think it is a track that's good for smaller bikes.
Okay.
You know, so even though it's not an easy track to learn, I think for the size of our bikes and, you know, everything that we have with this package, I think this is a good track. So maybe next year if we come back to this track and the knowledge that they gain from this race, it will help them.
Tell everybody what bike they're actually on.
They're on the Royal Enfield Continental GT 650.
Okay, good bike. They don't get to do a lot of performance mods for this class, but certainly the look and even just bike setup, as we all know, in any form of racing still makes a gigantic difference. But we're trying to learn how to work on bikes and race bikes and not just figure out who has the best person with a laptop in the background. It's fairly equal as far as performance goes. Let's go racing here. Royal Enfield Build, Train, Race, and we're underway.
Looks like everyone got off to a good start. That's the thing that always makes me nervous with these races is the starts. So I don't have to go down there and talk to anyone about their starts.
I can see the emotions here. You just let it all go. They made it to the start clean.
I hold my breath during the starts for sure.
All right, yeah, your heart rate's up. Bike is trying to get away already here in the 16. Wow, she is off to the races.
Yeah, she has a little rocket.
Taking off right now. I think the 55 of Peterson on the gold machine is in the number 2 spot. And the 19 of Chancellor, good job coming from row 2 up to 3rd.
Yeah, and she came to me and she said, you know, I put the, crash from qualifying behind me. I'm ready to go racing. And she was able to, even though she, crashed out early in qualifying, hold, 4th spot for the starting grid. And I wouldn't be surprised if, she works her way further up the front. And
we want to battle, and we've got it. Bike goes a little wide on the 16, so now Peterson is right behind her. Here we go.
Peterson is not going to let Kaylee get away from her that easy. She's going to put up a fight.
I love to see it. These two have had some great races throughout this 2022 campaign, and we got another one coming your way right now. It's up to Chancellor and a couple others to see if they can keep this duo of Bike and Peterson in sight.
Looks like... No, it looks like Jessica, she was trying to get in front of Jenny, but I don't think it worked.
Yeah, that's a battle right there with Martin, Chancellor, Martinez in the top 5. Can they keep this lead duo in sight? It looked like Bike was going to make a breakaway. Chloe Peterson says, nope, I'm right there with you.
Something that I love to see ladies do is they go, to the tech and they get their segments and they look over it and see where they could improve. And even right up to when they were putting on their leathers, they were still going over the track map and just reminding themselves where, they could do a little bit more.
And again, these are not riders that have a background in racing. Some of them have done some track days here and there, but these are relatively new riders. I cannot believe that you can take people just, hey, they send you a video and say, I'd like to try it. And they're at this level. Like, this is legit racing right now.
And we're in front of a world audience. We're in the premier, we're racing alongside American Superbike and like all of these, fantastic classes. And if it wasn't for MotoAmerica and their belief in this program and them wanting to support, bringing more people into the world of motorsports, we wouldn't be here. And it's again, it's like a dream come true. I think not only for myself, Royal Enfield, but for all these ladies out here. And our booth has been filled, our paddock area has been filled with everyone all weekend signing autographs, and we won't be here for the fan walk tomorrow for the autograph signing. So it was really cool for the ladies to get to sign the posters and talk about their process with all the people that were interested.
Martinez on the 25 putting pressure on Chancellor. This would be for 3rd and a shot at the podium. So 2 different battles to watch right now. The 3rd place battle and that lead fight, Bike and Peterson. just as close as you like. There it is. Peterson put the pressure on.
I think she really is just probably watching Kaylee, gonna feel her out for, you know, maybe another lap or two, and then figure out the right place to pass her.
Oh yeah, we want to see some action here, and these two have been bringing the heat. Oh, wait a minute. Just like that.
Whoa.
Oh, that's going to be tight. That is not an area you want to make the pass on the inside of that carousel. Woo.
Kaylee, shut that down.
Yeah, exactly. She gave her an opening, and Chloe decided to go for it.
Something's hanging off on the right side of Chloe's bike. I don't know if you see that right there.
Yeah, and the fairing was actually shaking a bit under braking as it went in that carousel. Not a problem.
We can work through that.
Yep, and here we are, right back to the battle. Bike versus Peterson.
You know, look at it. This is 5 people running up front, and this is what we wanted. Last year it wasn't the case, and this is, you know, multiple people hunting down for that first position or even battling for, you know, a spot on the podium. And, you know, people want to see racing, and this is exactly what's going on right now.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not just that, but even to the naked eye, they just look faster. They just look more aggressive.
Yeah, they are. And one, we're 3rd race into the season, so we have had track time. A lot of these ladies have gone home and maybe they're training on some other motorcycles and trying to just see Tom on a motorcycle on a track. This has given them hunger and fire to continue training a little bit more out there.
Yeah, the motivation is right there if you're Peterson, and that is keep Kaylee bike in sight. It's about the biggest the lead has been since the start of this race. Bike got a little gap early. Peterson reeled her back in. Can she do it for a second time? This battle for 3rd is not changing. Chancellor and Martin.
So when Chloe came back in from qualifying, one of the things she said is she's like, I feel out of shape. I think I need to start working out more. She felt like she was really exhausted physically after qualifying, really pushing herself, but it shows. Again, not necessarily the motorcycle builds themselves have to progress, but the rider and what they have to do to, you know, make sure their fitness is up.
I'd send it back down to Greg.
Really interesting watching this battle for the lead here on the first lap coming into turn 12. Chloe Peterson went down to the inside a little bit of Kaylee Bike, and Bike just shut the door, drove through the corner, and as a result, Chloe kind of overran the exit a little bit because she turned in early. This time, Chloe came in and looked to the inside. Bike moved over, then Chloe went to the outside, squared the corner up, got a much better run out of it. They are studying each other, and right now, Chloe is really trying to sell the move to your leader, and Kaylee not biting yet, but it's just fascinating to watch them set this up.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. It's that turn 8 going into the carousel. I'd say it was showing a wheel the previous lap. I think this we could say was a pass, a momentary pass, and then Bike was able to get it back. So it's getting closer and closer every lap.
Well, and this is just also allowing an opportunity for, you know, Jenny and everyone else behind them to catch up to them, right? The battles that are going on between them, it's going to slow them down, and it's giving opportunity for the 3 right behind them.
So Bike got a gap built up, and Peterson answered. She has just put in the fastest lap of this race, a 1:58.4, and that is what has allowed her to get the 16 back in sight, and Chancellor is going with them.
Chancellor is not going to, she had a taste of the podium with a 3rd at Road America. She's not going to settle for that. She wants to best that.
And don't forget that 19 of Jennifer Chancellor. Jenny is the points leader in this division, so she wants to keep these riders behind her in the standings. And she's in this fight also. This is one of the best races we've seen all weekend.
I would agree.
Okay. Yeah.
I might be a little biased,
okay,
though.
I'll give you that, but I'm going to give you the neutral third-party opinion here. What more do you want? We got 2 riders swapping the lead back and forth. Bike and Peterson. It's going to be really interesting when we come out of turn 6 and into 7-8. That's where they swapped it a couple of times.
No, it's really, I'm just 5 laps to go, and if I wasn't up here with you, I'd be biting my fingernails.
Okay.
If I had fingernails.
Yeah, we have you up here so we can keep an eye on you from an emotional and physical standpoint. We're just
it has allowed me to maintain, like, not crying. I've learned how to not cry.
Here it is again, showing her the inside. One of these laps, if she drives in there a little too deep, there could be contact because they're fighting for the same spot.
They are, and neither one of them are the type to back off either. It looks like Chloe ran a little wide right there.
And Chloe able to close right back in on Kaylee, so the battle for the lead continues. Oh, we want to watch the eyes here. She sees it coming.
Yeah.
Oh, you just love the
That's
intensity.
Yeah, it's definitely some fierce determination with all these ladies. Even, you know, like I know we don't get to show the ladies in the back because that's not really necessarily where the battle is, right, or the podium spots are. But going through all the photos that the photographers and the content guys send me, you know, Nicole, Ash, all of them, they have that same determination. And hopefully at some point this season, we have 3 races to go after this, that, you know, they can find themselves, you know, higher up in, you know, in the field for the battle. But it's crazy how fierce and how determined all of them are and how much they just want to keep pushing themselves.
And some great personalities. Greg will have the chance to do the podium interviews when this is over, but they are a hilarious group down when they start bench racing at the end. So you do have some side content that people can check out to see everything else that's going on throughout the weekend?
Yeah, so we have a YouTube channel. It's Royal Enfield North America, but for both of the programs, we have their own playlist. We release an episode after each round. We also do, you know, stuff on our Build Train Race Instagram channel and our Build Train Race website. Where, you know, content's important. We need to tell the story about all these. We need to get more people interested, inspire more people. And it's not just about empowering women, right? It's an empowering anybody that has ever, you know, said, I want to do something, I don't know if I can do it. I don't think any of these 15 women thought they were going to turn into motorcycle racers and race, you know, on live television.
Yeah.
I don't think that was ever something that they thought could happen, but they took the chance, and now look at it.
Yeah, the highest level on the same exact track, and look at this battle we have. Peterson is right back on bike. This time, they don't exchange it going into 8. I got to figure there's a little bit of a waiting game going on here.
Or maybe she said, that's not the spot I'm going to pass, right? So she's losing time trying to pass there. Kaylee gets her back. Maybe she's looking for the next spot that, you know, maybe it'll be a little bit smoother in passing.
Yep, where will that be? And another shout out to Jenny Chancellor back there in 3rd, keeping them in sight.
You know, we have a couple people now that have dropped below, you know, the 2-minute mark, and we didn't see that in qualifying.
That's right.
So we're seeing quite everyone looks like they've improved on their times. Hannah has dropped off, I think, 4 seconds from her qualifying time, something around that. So it's
4 seconds.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it was like 2:14. Yeah, so
that's impressive.
yeah, she wasn't pleased with only dropping 2 seconds from practice yesterday to qualifying.
Oh,
and
no.
said 2 seconds is 2 seconds. You are chipping away at your lap times. Again, we don't need to focus on that necessarily. Are you improving?
Yeah.
Do you feel better on your motorcycle? Are you getting used to the track? All those things. It shouldn't, of course, we want to worry about lap times, but that shouldn't be, especially with these new racers. There's so many other things. They have had minimal time on these motorcycles, so they're still getting to know them.
It's Bike, Peterson, Chancellor, Martinez, and Jessica Martin. That's your top 5. Peterson just put in the best time to close back in, and you can see how close it is. Rest of the top 10 is Tennyson in 6th, Michaela Trumbull, Ashley Truxell, Trisha Dahl, Alyssa Bridges. That is your top 10, and the battle for the lead resumes.
I think it's going to be a battle to the checker.
How well do these two get along? Because they're all pitting out of that same truck.
You know, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but this is, you know, we need stuff to talk about.
We like it, yeah.
Chloe said at first she wasn't sure if she liked Kaylee, and then today she just said this to me today, and then she came back to me and she said, I actually really like Kaylee.
Okay,
so it's
actually.
nice, and I think
I actually really like her.
Well, I mean, you have 15 women, and
Yeah.
we are emotional, and sometimes maybe a
And
little
we're throwing
bit.
competition in there. Yep.
Yeah, you throw competition. They're right next to each other. They're pitted next to each other. Kaylee has won every race so far, but I think Kaylee and Chloe drive each other, you know, to do better and be better. So it's worked out. And sometimes again, competition on track doesn't mean it needs to carry over into when you're off the motorcycle.
Yeah, we've seen that from a lot of classes out here in MotoAmerica, and it stayed that way here at Build Train Race by Royal Enfield. Oh, Peterson is as close as you can get.
I love watching her because I can tell when she's frustrated at herself.
Really?
Just by, you know, I sit next to her, so where I sit
Here it is,
in the
outside
tent,
line.
Yeah.
Not a lot of racetrack there.
She's trying everything she can. I mean, she should be extremely proud of herself after this race, regardless of the outcome.
I think you're right, Bree. She tried turn 8 a couple times. It didn't work. This lap, we've seen her experiment in a couple other spots, some chicanes, and then outside in turn 13. We'll give you some other riders. That's the 27 and Michaela Trumbull.
Ash Truxell right behind her. They have so much fun battling with each other, and they're just two of the sweetest human beings ever. And they, you know, Ash, I would say, is probably really hard on herself, where we have to, you know, kind of like bring her down. And, you know, she's never raced before. She just got a race license before our first race, I think like a week before. And she has improved so much. And sometimes I try to tell them, stop looking at the, you know, the finish order. how did you feel? You know, take everything else out of the perspective. Are you learning? Are you having fun? The motorcycle, our slogan for the Continental GT 650 is ton of fun.
Okay.
So if I want them to have fun, I want them to, you know, be smiling after they get off the bikes and motorcycles and not be so hard on themselves.
It's the same thing at the very, very highest levels. You know, you get this amazing opportunity to have a bike and a track and a race day and all these people supporting you. You don't want to look back at it a couple of years from now and say, I didn't even let myself enjoy it because I was so obsessed with the result. This is a chance of a lifetime. Got to have some fun with it.
You have to. You know, if at the end of the day you're not smiling and enjoying the experience, then maybe that's something that you shouldn't be doing.
Let's send it back down to Greg. What do you see in trackside?
Well, not trying to be too much of a predictor here, but my guess is that Chloe is going to make her move into 3. And the reason I say that is she has now got Kaylee Bike into overrunning 12 just a little bit here. And Kaylee turns in early to 1. Oh, really close there. Kaylee tends to turn in early to turn number 13. And Chloe runs a wider and later apex, which gives her a much better drive out of 13. And that'll give her a good head of steam through 1 and 2. My prediction is going to be it'll be turn 3 where that pass happens.
Yeah, 2 predictions. You're going to see an attempt to take the lead, and Bree is going to lose her mind up here in this booth because it is getting close. Okay, she's tried 2 different lines in 13 the last 2 laps. Will she have something magical when we get to it the very last time? That's the question. And that's going to be right headed to the finish line. Doesn't get much better than that.
Oh, this is so great.
It's great. But at the same time, I think you'll be glad when it's over because this is it's a stressful experience seeing them battle it out.
My heart rate's through the roof right now, and I'm definitely having, you know, some moments of holding my breath, especially
like right
that.
there.
Yeah.
The back end almost came loose there for the 55. And by the way, Jenny Chancellor, it's about as close as she has been. She could steal second right now.
And because of what happened with Chloe just now, that was an opportunity for Jenny to sneak up, and she is not going to want to settle for 3rd place.
Oh, this is good stuff. So the mistake by Peterson, obviously she was hanging it out all over the edge to try to get Bike for the lead. Will she be able to close back down one more time?
It looks like Kaylee's getting, you know, a little bit of edge on her.
Yeah, that one mistake was costly, but I have to say, some of the chicanes after the carousel, I think Peterson might be a little bit quicker. Can she close back in? Here's the carousel. Got to be perfect through here.
She looks pretty smooth.
Yes. She has opened up the gap when it mattered. One mistake. Is Peterson have anything left? I feel through here she's been pretty quick. Can she close in enough to bring it within striking distance out of 13 and then the run to the flag?
I'm not seeing this happen.
Kaylee Bike has it under control right now.
You know, I can just foresee my conversation with Chloe after this race, and she's going to be beating up herself on that. But it's racing. Mistakes happen, and you can't control everything.
Nope. She tried to put herself in position. She was hanging it out, made a mistake, and that's going to open the door. Kaylee Bike wins again in Royal Enfield Build Train Race.
But it wasn't a breakaway, and this is what I love about it. It was racing. There was battles. There was moments of what the heck did I just do? Opening it up just a little bit for someone to come and take that away. So. Oh,
that was fun. Yeah, Crystal Martinez coming across in 4th. It's going to be Martin.
You know, good for Jessica. I really like seeing her finish in the top 5. We call her the Mama Bear. She's been coaching track days, and you know, she's really part of the motorcycle culture in Georgia and across the southeast and such, and it's nice to see her finish a solid 5th place.
And you saw the 95, Cora Tennyson, Trumbull right behind her in 31. Whoa!
Michaela and Trish ran really wide.
Yeah, Trumbull and Truxell battling right down to the line, 7th and 8th, the 31 and the 27.
I wonder what happened to Alyssa, because she was feeling really confident, you know, going into the race, and maybe she had to get off that we didn't see, but I'm surprised that she finished back in 10th.
Now, did you have to teach this part when you were done with the race? Be pumped, smile, have fun, wave, or does that part come naturally?
No. I would say that's probably that's a really hard part of the program.
Really?
Is you know, saving face when you're angry or when you're not proud of yourself, and there's a time and place, right?
Yep.
So a lot of these women are really, really hard on themselves, extremely hard on themselves. But we know they need to go have their moment. And then come back. There was some, you know, learning last year when someone was really upset with their performance and then took it out on a teammate. We won't have any of that, right?
Okay.
But yeah, that teaching how to do social media, teaching how to talk to the press. There's so many parts of this program that people don't realize. Again, a lot of people focus on the race.
Yeah.
And it's a huge portion, absolutely, but it's not just that.
And also, these riders, this is not a full-time thing for them. They're jumping in and out of the program. They all work for a living. Full-time
jobs, yeah. I mean, we have graphic designers, we have nurses, we have hairstylists, we have Trisha's an electrician. Michaela just crashed on her
cool-down
lap. Well, maybe she was really excited because she got an 8th place finish.
Okay, just doing maybe too much waving there.
Yeah, maybe she was trying to do a wheelie.
Yeah, I don't know
yes,
if you teach
these motorcycles do wheelies.
They can do wheelies.
Absolutely.
Hey, is the gearing a lot different though for race purposes than it have on the street?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes the wheeling a little bit tougher.
And the thing is, a lot of people don't make aftermarket parts for our motorcycles, so we either have to get them custom made, or we have to figure it on our own. And we have a really talented crew.
That is impressive. All right, good. She's back up and is going to finish that cool down lap. There it is. Kaylee Bike taking the win. And Peterson ends up second by just over a second, but that doesn't really indicate how close the race was. They were all over each other most of the time. And Jenny Chancellor will end up third, so we'll see how that changes the point standings. She was your leader coming in. Martinez and Martin round out the top 5. Tennyson, Truxell, Trumbull, and Trish Dahl. That is your top 9. Alyssa Bridges, top 10. Pariso and Hannah Stockton round out the field. 12 racers, and you're just pumped at a lap time there.
Yeah, again, she shaved off like 20 seconds. You know,
wow.
I am just blown away. She's going to be hard on herself because she finished last, but how much time she shaved off. Like, I am extremely proud of that for her.
Look at the emotion as Bike and Peterson, after putting on another great battle. That's legit hugs right there. That's not the bro hug. That's a real emotion. And this is so fun to see these girls when they're down there. I've had the chance to do a couple podiums for this division, and it's just, they're so excited to do this. And we'll show you what got them there as we give you the highlights here of our race, BTR, Build Train Race. Well, I thought at this point with a good jump that maybe Kaylee Bike was going to walk away, but not going to happen.
I knew that wasn't going to happen. The ladies are sick of seeing her win, and I think they gave a decent fight for this. And you know, congrats to Kaylee. She's flawless. She's a really good motorcycle racer. But Chloe really wanted it, and it was not going to make it easy for her.
Yeah, that time she just got the lead, couldn't hold it in the carousel, so close. So after that one didn't work, she started setting up a couple other sections. Look at this run to the outside.
I mean, she tried every possible place, you know, to pass.
Absolutely. Great run by Peterson. She would make a mistake late, though. See, she was setting this up. We thought might have something brewing for the last lap. But pushed a little too hard, made a mistake, and this is the run to the checkered. Kaylee takes the win on the number 16.
Everyone should be proud. Everyone started the race and finished the race. And overall, I thought it was amazing from start to finish.
And to see riders that were new to the sport put on that kind of show, you wouldn't even think it'd be possible. We just watched it, and we will send it down to the podium with Greg.
Well, thanks very much, guys, and what a race. I'll tell you what, a lot of pressure from that young lady over there during the race, Kaylee. Watching you in qualifying, working to figure out turn 12, that's where I was watching from, and you really started to get it dialed. Then in the race, when she started to pressure you, looked like you were overrunning it just a little bit. She got close. It was a fabulous race.
It was a great race, and I've been waiting for that. She's going to get me at one of these races. I'm not going to give it to her, but I told her earlier, like, I'll be just as pumped for her. This is what it's about, the battle. She's helping me, I'm helping her. And these are the races people want to see.
Well, absolutely, and you guys put on a show. I mean, you know, got to the front, obviously, from the qualifying, opened it up, she closed it down, then a little thing, you opened it up again. It was seesaw, and you just, for a while, barely hung on, but at the end, you were able to finally open it up a little bit. It must have been nice knowing you had a little bit of breathing room.
I didn't know. I figured she'd be there the whole time. We all struggled with the chicane really bad, so that was my focus for the race, but I mean, she's a phenomenal rider. She was there the whole time.
She was indeed, but you had just enough. Well done, and I think this has done you pretty well in terms of the points, so congratulations.
I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah, she's pretty pleased, obviously. Here, we're going to wander on over. Make some noise for your winner, Kaylee Bike. But how about the battle that this lady put on? I'll tell you, Chloe, your attacks down into 12, inside, outside, inside, and yeah, you were trying, and so close. You guys put on such a fabulous run. Out of 13, it looked like you were getting a really good run. I thought you might be able to do something down into 3, but just not quite.
Ah, man, well, I can't wait till the next time I come here. I'm really going to give her a run for her money, and I have such respect for Kaylee. She's pushed me so much this year. And I told her earlier that I had a confession that I was kind of envious of her coming to the season, and I was like, oh, I don't like her, but I like her because she's fast. And then now I'm up there on that level, and I feel really good, and looking forward to keep going.
Well, you should, because it was an absolutely fabulous bout, one of the best races of the weekend so far. You guys got to feel awfully good about that. And this program, what an opportunity it is for you.
Yeah, I came into this program like assuming it was going to be really fun, but it's more than that. I've learned so much. The problem solving that has given me more confidence, and I'm just so grateful because of all the networking and all the amazing people I've met along the way, our team, our staff that helps us, and everybody else out here.
You don't know what you can do until you're given the chance to prove it, and you have. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. Second place, folks. What a battle for Chloe Peterson. Oh, Kaylee grabbed me one more thing she wanted to mention.
This one was for Scott. Everyone in the paddock knew who he was. I'm sure he said something nice to you at some point. He's always gone out of his way to help everyone, so he's going to be deeply missed in the paddock. So this one is for him. I'm sorry for your family and everyone at home, but we're all here for you.
A lot of emotion down here, and understandably so. Thank you very much for those kind words. Absolutely. And for this, I'll tell you, Jennifer, obviously had the off in the qualifying session, rebounded a podium, keeping yourself right up top near those points. Considering where you were halfway through qualifying, it's not a bad result.
I'm pretty happy with the result. I was concerned with the lack of track time I had today, but I just had to put that behind me, put my head down, get a good start, and I felt like I was pulling on them on the straights, just working hard at keeping it to the throttle stop on those straights and trying to inch my way forward. Not quite good enough, but we're getting there.
Well, obviously, and as you said, missing all of that track time to rebound like you did, and getting faster with every lap in the race, closing it down, got to be pretty satisfied with it. And you're on the podium here at another AMA and MotoAmerica race. That's pretty cool.
My goal was to be on the podium. I did see a peek at my times. I'm satisfied with my times. Like I said, maybe 2 laps in qualifying. I managed to hold on to P4 in qualifying, and I knew I just had to come out here and put my head down and do some work. But I wanted to take a tide to thank everybody who's got us here. I had a feeling I was going to get on the podium today. I actually put some notes in my glove to try and guarantee that I was going to get on the podium today. But man, Royal Enfield has just been so top-notch to us. I just can't believe how great this program has been and the confidence building. MotoAmerica has been amazing to us. Dunlop, AMA, and let me get out my little list. I know I'm going to forget somebody. You know, Bree Poland and Ann Roberts, they're literally just like blazing a trail for more women in motorsports. If there's any girls out there that ride motorcycles and you haven't checked out your local club racing, do it. It's the best thing you'll ever do in your life. Parts Unlimited, Arai, Olin's, Maxima Racing Lubricants, Galactic Empire Racing Team, you guys have been amazing to me. They've given me a ton of support to be here. Track Time, DL Restoration for the sweet paint job on my bike, Two Wheel Dynaworks for the great tune on my bike, Fable Farms out in Washington. Washington has the best motorcycle community, CW Motorsports for bringing some gear out for me, Ron Rudy, one of my local club racers that has helped me out, my mom and dad, Alan Schwinn, Ken Hill, so many people.
So many people that have been there for you. Congratulations, you did them proud today. Well done. Another round of applause for your podium. Let's get it back up to Jason and Bree.
Thanks, Greg. She did the work for you there.
I know. I was gonna, I was asking you when they were down at the podium. I wanted opportunity to thank our sponsors, but I think Jenny just thanked the entire world, so I think we got that covered.
Got it. But again, those podium speeches, we don't see that in any other class. The honesty, the raw honesty of the riders toward each other is great.
There's so much emotion, and I love that Chloe called that out. We talked about that during the race, and then she mentioned that, and so I guess she won't get mad at me for saying it during broadcast.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, she plays it back. That's not a secret any longer anyway. So we're celebrating our podium. Bree Poland, thanks for helping us out, as always, first of all in the booth, but also putting this whole program together, really paving the way for who knows how many future motorcyclists. Then we show the world what can be done.
I can't wait to see what happens during application season.
Okay, yeah. You think you hit 500?
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's amazing. Great to have you up here, Bree, and there is our podium. Kaylee Bike, Chloe Peterson, and Jenny Chancellor, our top 3, and boy, are they happy to do it. And we'll see more great racing between these girls and several others throughout this season. As far as our race weekend, we are not finished. We'll let Bree go, but we will talk about tomorrow's broadcast schedule. We'll start at 11:40 Eastern, 10:40 here in Minnesota, MotoAmerica Live plus STG Junior Cup warm-up. Then we'll go racing for the first time in our UASA Stock 1000 class.